Alright folks, so I have a very serious question at the start of this video. How come, why do gay men only adopt young boys? WWW. Well. There's a lot to discuss here. I'm going to start with this medical procedure. So, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Hemorrhoidectomy? Yeah, so what is hemorrhoidectomy? Well, so if you're a dude that's watching this video, which I imagine will probably be 85 to 90% of the audience for this video, yeah, so 90% of men, eventually you will get hemorrhoids. So very, very bad, okay? Well, there are some cases I understand where you can apply some hemorrhoid cream, and yeah, most of the time that will work. But I've certainly seen this in a lot of Chinese guys, especially when they get older, because it's a reoccurring theme. Because we're heading into the fall now. Typically, I would say the time your hemorrhoids will act up is October, November, December. Yeah, it's very, very bad. It's a terrible situation. But as you get older, basically what happens is that your sphincter, is that what you call it? Yeah, your sphincter, it weakens up over the years. And so in some cases where I've seen so many of these Chinese men, by the way, I'm mentioning this because hemorrhoids is very common amongst the Chinese men, especially older Chinese men as they get into their 50s to 60s. So sometimes your sphincter is not strong enough to push out the stools anymore. Basically, the entire excretory system, it completely closes up and you're required to get medical surgery. I mean, this is really, really nasty stuff, and I don't want this video to get flagged or age restricted. But yeah, look up a hemorrhoidectomy. Horrible stuff. So yeah, I want to mention this procedure because well, I have to be 100% open and honest. Right? In the past, I've had like hemorrhoids, but it's not that bad. Like it was to the point, basically, if I really force it, I can just push everything out. But eventually, I would say, yeah, for 90% of guys, just be ready. You know, at some point, you know, when you get to your 50s to 60s, you probably need hemorrhoid cream. But if you're gay, I'm sorry to say, I have nothing against gays. I'm just saying that it is not normal for two guys to be going at it from behind, especially if your boyfriend is extremely girthy. Because you know, I talk a lot about 6 or 7 or 8 inches, but the girth is very important as well. So I think for some women, they say the girth is more important than the length. Because well, yeah, if your boyfriend is imagine Shin Diesel, right? So someone who's extremely girthy. So yeah, if your boyfriend is Shin Diesel or Mark Wood, and if you're sexually active, you're doing it 3 or even 4 or even 5 times a week, and I'm sorry to say, after a couple of years, yeah, your sphincter is going to be 100% destroyed. You will have zero control of your bowel movement. Well, eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to be sharding every single day. So every time, you have a big fart, there's going to be a fecal matter that's going to be flying out of your sphincter every single time. So, I mean, that is not normal, and it's got to be extremely painful. And yeah, let's tie this to religion as well. I've seen this topic that keeps popping up. So yeah, they talk about, yeah, can you be gay and Christian? Here's my opinion, okay? There's the inclination towards being gay, which, is very different versus, the physical love, right? The affection part of being gay. Now, if you're just looking for some companionship, right? If you're, let's say, one of those, excess men from China or from India or from Philippines, you're extremely lonely, you're extremely depressed, you're just looking for companionship. You just want to hug a guy, or just want to hold hand. You just want somebody to talk to, right? If you're just looking for that, without obviously the sexual intimacy part, yes, I believe you can be gay and Christian. But however, if you are getting drilled from behind by someone, let's say Don Lemon, okay, that is 100% not normal, and I don't believe that someone who is sexually active as a gay man can actually be a Christian. That is my 100% honest answer. So yeah, actually the hemorrhoids part, right? So the Chinese squatting toilets, and I mentioned this a few times in past videos. I've shown these Chinese squatting toilets many times. They make 10 times more sense. By the way, the reason why I'm bringing up hemorrhoids is because, yeah, if you're a gay man who's sexually active, yeah, you're 100% guaranteed to get hemorrhoids. And I'm not talking about the ones where you can trade it with the hemorrhoids cream. I'm talking about, yeah, eventually you will have to get this medical procedure done. And yeah, this is horrific, man. Hemorrhoidectomy, it's something you want to avoid 100%. So the reason why those Chinese squatting toilet exists is because, well, it actually helps with pushing out your stool so that you don't get constipated. Also, those Chinese squatting toilets, they're a massive deterrent for people to be, looking at their smartphones while they're in the bathroom, right? So, because, if you're just sitting there comfortably on the toilet, yeah, you could be in there for 15, 20, 30, or 35 minutes, and you could just be playing games on your phone. And it's very bad, if you're in a very, very busy public bathroom, if you're people in line who are waiting for their turn, right? So you just end up making everything worse for everybody. You never know, right? Some guy could have just had some extremely spicy India food, maybe some beef biryani or butter chicken, and he's having an episode of explosive diarrhea. He might end up shitting his pants because you're playing games on your smartphone. So, but if you're just down there squatting, it's very uncomfortable. So you want to get out of there as fast as possible. And yeah, part of the reason why I think so many people are getting hemorrhoids nowadays is because they're spending way too much time on their phone. Like right after you push out your stool, right after you push out your fecal matter, you got to make sure, you got to clean your ass, man. Do it instantly. Don't sit there for another 30 minutes because that's what happens when you have all these residual fecal matter that's sitting on your bump for 30, 35, 40 minutes. And yeah, it may be you won't get it now, but eventually you will get hemorrhoids. And also tying this point to gay adoption, right? So yeah, there's a reason why, by the way, if you're wondering, right? So LGBTQ is not illegal in China, but so if you're a gay or a lesbian couple, you cannot get married, which I 100% support. If you're wondering how do they say gay and lesbian in Chinese, well, it's just a westernized version because gay is very easy to say. They just say if it's two guys, it's gay. And in Chinese, they call lesbians lala. So I guess lesbian is too hard for Chinese people to pronounce, so they turn into a Chinese term. It's called lala. So you just have gay, and if it's two women, it's lala. That's it. So there's no such thing as a gay or lesbian marriage in China. It's 100% illegal, which I 100% support. And also, yes, there is a reason why gay adoption is also 100% illegal. So by the way, China has ended all international adoptions 100%. So in all of those episodes where you're seeing that all these Chinese girls are being adopted by white parents, yeah, that's 100% over. Part of the reason is because, well, there's a population collapse that's happening in China, extremely low birth rates. And also, yes, I 100% agree with the Chinese government's decision by not allowing gay couples to adopt. Because, yeah, gay adoption. I don't care what all of these insane activists are saying about their political correctness, about all these woke ideologies. Gay adoption is terrible for the children. Imagine, if you're just a little 5-year-old, you're just enjoying your beautiful day with your two dads, right? And some guy is going to walk along and he's going to tell you that, oh my God, look at you, what a freak, man. Did you know that your two dads are actually each other up the ass? Well, yeah, that's the stuff you have to put up with every single day. And yes, it is very, very questionable. Yeah, why are so many gay couples out there only adopting young boys? And I find that to be extremely, extremely creepy. Right? I've seen way too many of these cases on these police crime investigations. Unfortunately, yeah, because the reason why that is happening, because for a lot of these gay men, adopting a young little boy is part of their sexual fetish. It's very, very disturbing stuff. And yeah, if it was up to me, I would say, yeah, I agree with the Chinese government's decision by not allowing gay marriage and also not allowing gay adoption. Now, yeah, also just talking about it's being gay a choice. Well, I would say for the most part, yes. Well, Asians do commit crimes, but I would say less violent crimes. Most of the crimes Asians do commit is usually something like a fraud or a bribery or embezzling money or Ponzi scheme. I mean, in my opinion, those are just as bad as the violent crimes. But yeah, so many people in the West talk about, why don't Asians commit crimes? Well, I mean, it is extremely terrifying. What if, let's say, yeah, I try to pull off some Ponzi scheme. Let's say if I scammed some 75-year-old old white lady of her entire lifetime savings. Let's say I stole $150,000 from her. Now I get arrested. Now I get put into prison for 2 years. Imagine, my first day in prison. Then, boom, my cellmate is Mandigo. Holy shit, I think my life is going to be over. No, I mean, I'm serious. That is actually my biggest fear. It's not going to prison in itself. I mean, especially if you're a smaller guy, you're going to get drilled right up the. And here's something that's also very interesting. If you guys want to get a little bit political, I've said in previous videos, why should Taiwan return to mainland China? Well, their political ideology, so basically these Taiwanese politicians, they have 100% lost the plot. So their previous president, she was president of Taiwan for 8 years. So this is how you pronounce her name. Tsai Ing-wen, okay? Tsai Ing-wen, she's a dumb bitch, okay? So her daddy was a billionaire. And so she grew up basically with a silver spoon in her mouth. She doesn't care about the middle class. She doesn't care about the Taiwanese economy. By the way, yeah, this is one of our most important key cabinet members. So this is a biological male. Calls himself Audrey. I think you guys know where this story is going. Audrey Tang. Yeah, you can look up how popular this guy. Well, he calls himself queer and non-binary. He uses they, them pronouns. And you can look up, some of these advertisements this guy Audrey Tang's putting out in Taiwan. It's like, by the way, this is a biological male. He just grew his hair out. And he's going like, oh, yes, come on, I'm Audrey Tang. Yes, sweet, sour, Audrey Tang, queer, non-binary. So, yeah, that is a 44-year-old biological male. And yeah, this dude, one of the most powerful politicians in Taiwan. So I've only been to the island once, summer of 2023. I was there for 12 days in the capital. I was absolutely shocked because when I was there, everything, literally everything is gay. The pride flags, every single government building, every single school, everywhere, LGBTQ and on, all of that crazy stuff. I also, 2S, two-spirited, and also the plus. Plus, I think, morbidly obese probably, all of these shopping centers, all these districts, pretty much, all these streets, you see the pride sidewalk everywhere. Everything is gay. When I was there, there was dudes. I'm talking about people like Audrey Tang because that's who they aspire to be. Just cross-dressing, growing their hair out, putting on makeup. And some of these dudes, they will carry their own purse. They will have a little pink bicycle. Basically, everything is gay. Any civilization throughout human history that has become obsessed with this ideology, with 2S, LGBTQ and all, with all of this crazy stuff, every single one of them have collapsed. Think about it like this, right? I think everybody can agree, right? The Western civilization has been on decline. It's been on decline for decades. So, what happened in 2001? The Netherlands. No surprise there. The first country in the world to recognize same-sex marriage. So 4 years later, it was Canada, then it was UK, France, then it was part of the United States. The states that's controlled by the Democrats, certainly. Then in 2015, one of the Barack Obama's final acts, right? So same-sex marriage was legalized in all 50 states in 2015. Yeah, just think about what has happened, right? Since 2001, 2005, 2007, all the way until 2015. Ever since same-sex marriage has been legalized in all of these Western countries, everything has been on a decline. Once again, you guys can fact check me all you want. You guys can dig up all the information throughout human history. So modern humans, we have been around for roughly 200,000 years. We started migrating out of East Africa around modern day Ethiopia. Throughout human history, any religion, any civilization, any ethnic background, no civilization has ever recognized same-sex marriage. Once again, I want to make something clear. Yes, China has had a lot of gay people, including gay emperors throughout history. China has also had a lot of lesbians. And I'm sure the Greeks, the Romans, the Indians, I'm sure, they've had a lot of gays. They had a lot of lesbians. And it's possible they had, cross-dressers and people calling themselves a queer or transgender. But however, same-sex marriage has never ever been legally recognized in any civilization in human history. So if you guys don't believe me, you guys can fact check me on this. So that is my 100% honest opinion. I mean, if it was up to me, if I was the one who was making the laws, I would say that I think China is absolutely right on this. I think if you want to be gay, if you want to be lesbian, by all means, right? If that's what you enjoy, if you want to get drilled behind by someone like Don Lemon or Douglas Murray, it's 100% up to you. Definitely not my cup of tea. But I'm just telling you, if you're sexually active as a gay dude, after a certain many years, eventually you're going to lose control of your bowel movement. So you're going to be sharding almost every single day. And also, at some point you will get hemorrhoids and you will require a hemorrhoidectomy. I'm just telling you guys. But once again, I'm not here to judge you. If you want to be gay, if you want to be lesbian, 100% okay. But I don't think same-sex marriage should be recognized anywhere. And I don't think gay adoption should be made legal. It should always be made illegal because gay adoption is absolutely terrible for the children. It doesn't matter if it's two gay guys adopting a boy. It's just as bad if it's two lesbians adopting a boy or two lesbians adopting a baby girl. For the entirety of human history, same-sex marriage has never been legalized, has never been recognized. and it all started in the Netherlands in 2001. And since then, every single Western country has been on a massive decline. And that's why I believe Taiwan has become way too obsessed with this ideology. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and watching it all the way until the end. If you guys have enjoyed the contents of this video, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification button. And I will see you guys next time.